I'm Sam Gore. Enjoy the basketball, everyone.
The top 4 teams have proven themselves in Greenville in the SEC. We welcome you to the semifinals of the SEC Women's Basketball Tournament. Courtney Lyle alongside national championship winning head coach Carolyn Peck. Steffi Sorensen is on the sidelines for us. Texas A&M comes in as the SEC regular season champion, and they got a big win over LSU. They looked like a championship team.
5 players. They had double figures from 5 players, and one of those 5 players, Alexis Moore's coming off the bench.
But they're facing a Georgia team who is playing some great basketball, as Jenna Stady, who plays the 5, just hit a 3.
Well, Jenna Stady's red hot as well. She had 20 points yesterday, so she's playing with a lot of confidence for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Winner of this game will move on to face either South Carolina or Tennessee, excuse me. Both teams play great defense.
You watch Texas A&M. It is a zone, but you saw Kayla Wells go with the cutter.
This is Q Morrison for Georgia. 6 seconds on the shot clock. She's one of their seniors. Gets her shot blocked by India Jones. We've had some great games in Greenville, South Carolina this week. Just 4 teams remain. Texas A&M and Georgia will play for a spot in the championship. They'll get either Tennessee or South Carolina. And all 4 of these teams are projected to be top 4 seeds in the NCAA tournament.
And all 4 coaches can be confident about that, and so be totally focused right now, just focused on this SEC tournament.
Sierra Johnson looking for India Jones down low. Goes around Jordan Isaacs for the bucket. India Jones has such a great game, a first-team All-SEC selection.
You were talking about Gary Blair saying that he doesn't call very many plays for India Jones, but today he was going to go to her.
We talk about A&M's experience and depth, but Steffi, Georgia has a lot of experience in this senior class, too.
A really good start for both seniors for Georgia. You know, they outscored Kentucky yesterday all by themselves as Jordan Nixon knocks it down. But a good sign for Jenna Stady to stay on the floor, as that was a message from Joni Taylor. But Coach Beck, how about Maya Caldwell stepping up the last few games?
She has played with so much confidence, and Joni Taylor has talked about moving her to the 4. She took full responsibility. She said she has been switching Maya Caldwell from playing the 3 to the 4. What does that do? Sometimes it confuses the player in making decisions. When a player can play the 4 and just there's less thinking to it, simplicity makes it good.
And Maya Caldwell's averaged 23 points per game over her last 2 games. Well, Gary Blair has the SEC regular season champs. That is their title, but he's got a little... It's really interesting, Steffi, because, you know, he's got those $2 bills, and if they lose a game, he goes to the bank and has them exchange them for new $2 bills.
Well, you know, his banker found out that he had lost that first coin that he had. And while Gary Blair was down at practice, the banker came in and brought the coin and just left it on his desk. So how happy do you think Gary Blair was when he walked in and saw that? I would think, okay, that's a sign.
Yeah, and it's got to be 1945. That was the year Coach was born. So very specific $50 you had to find.
Absolutely. But right now it doesn't look like he has anything in his hand, and he's down 7. So I'm wondering when he's going to reach in his pocket.
Maya Caldwell, Georgia's seniors have stepped up big time. Caldwell is one of those. Maya Caldwell now has 7 points.
Joni Taylor is so proud of Maya Caldwell, because even though there was times when she wasn't playing as much as she wanted to or didn't get into games, Joni Taylor said Maya Caldwell, she never pouted. She trusted the process and was ready to do whatever Coach Taylor needed her to do.
That's how this whole senior class for Georgia has been. They have stuck with it. They've never thought about transferring. They are all in on what Joni Taylor wants to do, and it's paying off in their senior season.
When you're talking about seniors, Joni Taylor told us that she didn't set like a season goal with this group. It is one game at a time. Because of last season and how it ended, no game is ever guaranteed.
Jenna Stady will go to the line, but Caldwell's got 7.
Caldwell just stepping into her shot with India Jones really giving her a step. Length, Caldwell recognizes it and knocks it down.
Look at her season numbers compared to the last 2 games. I mean, it's starting to click, and you mentioned she's now playing the 4, so that's helped her.
You want to peak at the right time, and what better time to do it than in March?
Stady is up to 6 points. That's also important because she only had 4 points against Texas A&M in the regular season meeting, and of course the Aggies won that game.
Well, when we talked to Joni, I said, what is going to be important to get Jenna Stady going? And she said she just needs to stay on the floor, stay out of foul trouble, and when she can play, she can have an impact in this game.
She has had double figures in 28 of Georgia's last 33 games going back to last season. She is an impact player.
Well, she went to Joni Taylor and she said, I need to do more. I want to do more. And Joni Taylor said, well, do more then. And Jenna has done exactly that.
Missed layup by Q Morrison. Big transition opportunity. But look at Georgia on top of the SEC regular season champion, 19-7. Anna Dramina. Stady got a hand on the shot by Jones, but there's a foul on the floor.
Georgia's defense, though, has been stifling. Texas A&M has not been able to get free, and that was a concern of Gary Blair. He talked about Georgia's defense and how they make you have to make jump passes. That's the last thing a coach wants to say, because when you jump to pass, there's no turning back. There's no, oh, I need to change my mind. And so that plays into the hands of the defense.
We've had several opposing coaches who are getting ready to play Georgia tell us they can tell this team loves to play defense. I don't know if there's a bigger compliment for Joni Taylor.
Absolutely, because in the SEC, in order to be successful, you have got to have a defensive identity.
Coombs with the bucket. Quick timeout. Texas A&M has come out and struggled, shooting 36% from the field.
Alexis Morris has checked into the ball game. Man, was she special when she came in for Texas A&M yesterday.
Yeah, the transfer from Baylor and Rutgers had 13 points yesterday. Just provided that spark, and Texas A&M needs the spark right now.
Well, and I think that's why Gary Blair put Alexis Morris into the game. She can really use her quickness to ignite the offense specifically for the Aggies.
They need it. Georgia is on a 12-2 run. Into Kayla Wells. She's been one of their best scorers, but has trouble getting around Jenna Stady. Sarah Ashley Barker pushing. Travel on Jenna Stady. Second turnover for Georgia.
Now we got to take a look to see if Alexis Morris is able to free herself, get a drive, or at least cause two to defend her and open up the A&M perimeter so that they can get some better ball movement.
Yeah, Peck, you remember Gary Blair was really concerned with if his guards could get open on the perimeter and if maybe Alexis Morris can come in there and create her own shot. They're a little bit too much one-on-one. I know that's not necessarily what Gary Blair was looking for, but you have to really credit the defense along the perimeter, the guards for Georgia, just making it so difficult for Texas A&M to get into their offensive sets.
Well, and Steffi, you talked about too much one-on-one. Well, that's how Georgia's defense is built to make you play. That each accountability, they're going to make it difficult for you to go.
There's a spark. Alexis Morris. They have also brought in another scorer. Destiny Pitts is in the game.
Well, when you bring Alexis Morris into the game, who's got the quickness penetrating wise, and you want the defense to collapse, you want a shooter outside that can knock down that three.
Caldwell shot in and out. Stady tried to save it. out, and Morris had an open lane, couldn't finish, but we'll see her at the free throw line.
That's why she's in the game, though. You watch this just the time before, running in transition. You see the speed that Morris has. She wants to pick up the tempo of this game. Followed that up with the very next trip, and that's why she's at the free throw line.
Started her career at Baylor, then spent 2 seasons at Rutgers before coming to Texas A&M. Well, tomorrow at 8 Eastern on ESPN2, the #1 seed Stanford in the Pac-12 tournament plays #3 UCLA. That'll be in the championship game. Remember, UCLA beat the Cardinal earlier in the regular season.
Michaela Onyenuede, what a talent at UCLA. She's going to be a high draft pick in the WNBA. These two going back and forth against each other, Stanford and UCLA, that's going to be a great game.
Yeah, Corey Close has done a phenomenal job at UCLA. They have had short numbers and a couple of shutdowns, but are still a top team. Texas A&M has come out and struggled to score the basketball, shooting just 36% from the field against a very good Georgia defense. Meanwhile, the Lady Bulldogs lighting it up 50% from the field here in this semifinal game.
Well, against that zone, I can guarantee you that Joni Taylor has watched film after film after film, and finding those options, those opportunities where her team can find the best options to score the basketball.
Alexis Morris has been inserted into the game, number 45 in white, to get things going, and she has Destiny Pitts off the mark. Connolly from deep.
Gabby Connolly scored. She was the only player that really struggled to shoot the basketball yesterday. Good sign for her to knock down that 3.
Largest lead for Georgia. They've cleared it out for Morris. But Jenna Stady had something to say.
And Gary Blair talked about the shot blocking ability he was concerned with Jenna Stady. He says that her timing, her reach, she doesn't slap down on it, but she is a shot blocker. She's patient. She finds the ball when it leaves the shooter's hands and then knocks that stuff out of here.
Georgia already has 4 blocks, and they all belong to Jenna Stady. Michaela Coombs got her hand on that one and stopped the shot from falling. What a...
On a Zoom, working, preparing for a game, and Darius, her husband, he calls her up and says, you know, Joan, you got to come up here and look at Drew's leg. You got it. There's something to see. So she comes running upstairs frantically, thinking something's wrong. Used the kids as a prop, Darius did, and ultimately there was some flowers waiting for her to surprise her.
Whoa! Hey, Darius, you don't use an injury to the kid to get mom to come upstairs. That's emergency. That's 911 talk right there.
You better believe Joni Taylor came running up those stairs, too.
But just look at what she has done with this Georgia program. They're going to be a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. They have gotten to the semifinals of the SEC tournament. If they win this game, that'll be their 2nd appearance in the SEC tournament final under Taylor, as Aaliyah Wilson hits.
Well, with the defense, and a lot of times you talk about how good the defense is. Well, you've got to have some motivation. You know what the motivation is for these Georgia players? They love their coach. They have built a terrific relationship with Coach Joni Taylor. But for A&M to get back in the ballgame, they need to turn their defense up. And there, Aaliyah Wilson, she is one of the best defenders for Texas A&M. She gets the steal. Will this help to change the momentum for the Aggies?
Texas A&M has come out and struggled to score the basketball. This is a team that averages 75 points per game.
The only loss from Texas A&M this year was to LSU. And that's another team that is known for their defense. A&M really struggled against the matchup zone against LSU.
Jordan Nixon, that could be a huge bucket for Texas A&M. Morrison on the wing, back up to Connolly. Morrison's open for the three. And it's going to stay with Georgia.
The Texas A&M may have found an answer against the Georgia defense. You see Aaliyah Wilson gets inside and all the defenders, they collapse to the ball. They put a shooter on the backside and now she's able to have time to knock down the shot.
Anybody on this Texas A&M team can get hot. That's what makes them so dangerous. They're not just relying on one player to find their shot.
And great balance, and they're willing to give up an average shot to find a better shot because they've got confidence in each other.
5-second call. Q Morrison couldn't get the ball in.
Remember that steal from Aaliyah Wilson? The momentum has shifted for Texas A&M.
A&M has scored 5 points in the second quarter. Georgia has not. Excuse me, A&M. Yeah, Georgia has not scored. Wilson, it went out of bounds off of Q Morrison's foot.
Keep an eye on Sierra Johnson. She is posting up, and when she is, A&M needs to give her the basketball. She's got Jenna Stady on her. The best way to get Stady out of the game, try to draw some fouls. But Sierra Johnson has got to work the ball.
And Dia Jones was calling for it down low.
But you see Jenna Stady is backing in. She's not putting pressure on Sierra Johnson.
Up ahead to Coombs. Coombs gets open. Nixon gets tripped up, but it's an air ball.
See, now you got to give Sierra Johnson a look. But no second chances right now for Texas A&M.
Jenna Stady, she's already got 1 3-pointer today.
You know, one of the things that you look at with Texas A&M, it's not the first shot that is always the best shot, but it's that offensive rebound, the second shot. Well, in order to get those second chance opportunities, you got to have your post in the paint instead of having them spread out on the floor.
That was Dia Jones finishing up off the glass. Texas A&M has outscored Georgia 7-0.
Look at Stady. She wants it against Johnson down low.
Nixon up ahead to Wells. Count the bucket. Kayla Wells is going to the free throw line.
Q Morrison can't believe that. She thought that she had gotten to the spot. You know, she's still moving there. That's a nice drive by Kayla Wells.
First foul on Q Morrison. Morrison usually assigned to the opponent's best player on defense. She is a great defender, named to the All-SEC team, also the co-SEC Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, and because she is, I think, one of the best defensive players in the SEC, and it's because she gets down in a stance. She doesn't give up on a play, and she doesn't shortcut the game. She gets down, gets in a stance, and gets after it.
Yeah, she's told us Joni Taylor will come to her and say, Q, I need you to get a stop. I need you to shut her down. And she's like, I feel so responsible to get the job done for Joni. I don't have a choice but to go out and play my best defense.
And she shows it, man. She goes out and turns it up. Do you remember her in the second half when Georgia beat Tennessee? It was all Q Morrison show.
It was all about Q in that game, and Georgia got its first win in Knoxville since 1996. Zay Green with the basket. We're tied at 25. 12 straight points for Texas A&M. Georgia has not scored in the second quarter. Mallory Bates blocked.
We have talked about how Texas A&M's offense, when opponents take one thing away, they have other options to go to.
Georgia's got to get some scoring going. They're 0 for 8 from the field in the second quarter.
Well, right now, Mallory Bates playing inside in the middle.
Back out to Q. Can she do it? You bet! First points for Q. Georgia's seniors have led them so far in this game. But Texas A&M using a 12-0 run. Foul on the floor by Mallory Bates. Texas A&M on the comeback in Greenville. First quarter to the second quarter, now shooting 50% in this quarter. Meanwhile, Georgia's hot offense has trailed off.
Well, and now Georgia's going to have to find a way because, look, these two coaches, they're our strategists. And they are going to have to find different ways. That didn't look good.
That's Michaela Coombs down on the floor for Georgia.
Yeah, when she took off, it was very awkward. She let out a scream. That didn't look good.
We'll keep an eye and try to get an update for you on her status.
I hope she's able to make a Renia Davis type return.
Right.
Renia Davis turned her ankle for Tennessee yesterday after going back to the locker room. She was able to come back in and play.
Georgia came out hot offensively in this game, outscoring Texas A&M in that first quarter 25-13, but A&M has found its rhythm. I think Alexis Morris coming into the game has helped.
Well, having the versatility at the point guard spot, Alexis Morris can come in and really turn up the tempo and use her quickness.
Morris in there, number 45 in the white jersey as Q. Morrison won't get the bounce to go, but look who comes out with the rebound. It's Morris.
And Morris had contested the shot on Q. Morris, left it, and then went and got the rebound.
That's how fast she is.
She is all over the place.
Remember in the non-conference portion of the schedule, as India Jones hit, we saw Alexis Morris become eligible in that Texas game when A&M was playing the Longhorns. I mean, she was lightning shooting out of there.
Exactly, and that is a change-up that is beneficial to Texas A&M. They have really a variety of point guards that has kept the competition up at Texas A&M, and I think that keeps your point guard sharp, keeps them on their toes to bring your A game.
Now, Jordan Nixon is the starting point guard for this Aggie crew. She has earned that spot. Gary Blair has made it very clear, but they have a lot of weapons they're not afraid to go to.
Absolutely. You've got Jordan Nixon, who is a headsy, high IQ player, and at the end of the game, a lot of times you'll see Gary Blair put the basketball in her hands.
Jenna Stady able to corral it, and Stady's up to 9 points.
You know, the disadvantage for Texas A&M having Sierra Johnson up top, she's not going to rebound. But Georgia's still using their big girl. And you see Jenna Stady after the ball screen, then to get position inside, get around Sierra Johnson, and she's able to get the finish.
Jenna Stady, the first time these two teams faced, only had 4 points. Already has 9 points today, and we're in the second quarter.
She only had 1 rebound and now has 5. That's big going against Texas A&M.
And she's not in foul trouble.
And that's even bigger for the Georgia Bulldogs.
The foul was called on Gabby Connolly that put Alexis Morris at the free throw line.
Well, you guys remember that Joni Taylor had to sit down Jenna Stady and Q Morrison after one of their games where they got into early foul trouble and they lost the game, and had a nice conversation, as Joni said, that we can't afford you guys to get into foul trouble. We need you on the floor to win the game.
That was after the Kentucky game, and got the attention of those two players. Said, I can't afford to look over, and you're over here sitting with me. I need you out on the court.
And those are two seniors who have a lot of experience. They can make that adjustment, and they have. Jordy's got to shoot. India Jones with the block, held ball, possession arrow, pointing to the Aggies.
There's no quit in India Jones. That's not even her person, but she comes over with the help, gets the block, stays after it, and will not release that basketball.
Offensive foul on Sierra Johnson. Well, we saw India Jones on that last play doing the extra. That's something that she prides herself in. She has a tattoo on her wrist that says extraordinary, and that comes from her grandmother, Clara Wilson, who always told her to do the extra.
And she does that and applies that to on the basketball court and also academically as well. Just about everything that India Jones really, she looks to conquer in life. I mean, she's already graduated, and she's in graduate school right now. She is a phenomenal young woman, is going to do great things while she's playing basketball and when basketball is over.
How about that for a little bit of extra, Steffi?
Yeah, guys, I'm looking forward to see what India Jones does after her career. She has been very active. She has a musical side to her as well. She can play up to 4 instruments: the piano, drums, flute, xylophone. Pat, can you play the xylophone?
I can't even spell xylophone, so no. But not only can India Jones play instruments, she has a built-in instrument. She has a beautiful voice. She is a fantastic singer.
Well, Texas A&M has just taken the lead thanks to India Jones. Jones has 9 points and 2 rebounds.
India Jones sets the tone for these Texas A&M Aggies with her effort and her energy.
Stolen away. Kayla Wells has it. Jones will go to the free throw line. Texas A&M trailed by 12 points in this game. They're up by 1 with a minute until the half.
You watch India Jones, though. She's continuing to attack. Keep an eye on Sierra Johnson. She's hanging around at the top of the key.
Georgia's going to make a substitution. Chloe Chapman has come in. Q Morrison, 3 fouls. That is a problem. Tomorrow at noon Eastern on ESPN2, the 1 seed Louisville moving on to face NC State in the ACC Women's Basketball Tournament Championship game. How fun is that one going to be over on ESPN2?
NC State won the first meeting between those two teams in the regular season. So, yes, and that is going to be a chess match between Wes Moore and Jeff Walls.
Jenna Stady, a much-needed basket for Georgia. Georgia's only scored 7 points in the second quarter.
Well, that was a good strike. Good, quick score. So now Georgia, if they were to get a stop here, even if the shot clock ran out, they would have another possession to end the quarter.
Aaliyah Wilson, just pretty. Georgia's going to have 17 seconds. This is Connolly. High pass to Stady. A&M's got to hustle if they want a buzzer beater. Aaliyah Wilson, short. But Texas A&M trailed by 12 points. They are in the lead, holding. Georgia led 25-13 after the first quarter, but the Lady Bulldogs only scored 7 points in the second quarter. Texas A&M, the SEC regular season champion, trying to get to that tournament championship game tomorrow. There's a big bucket from Jordan Isaacs.
And keep an eye on Jordan Isaacs' plays, because she's like India Jones for Texas A&M. Not many offenses are run to her, but she plays cleanup. She is that blue-collar worker for the Lady Bulldogs.
And that's going to be a turnover. Offensively for Georgia, we mentioned only 7 points in the second quarter. What changed?
Well, I think that Jenna Stady stayed outside a little bit too often. She was getting it done inside. And also, keep an eye, Maya Caldwell hasn't really heated up like she did the previous 2 games. Only 7 points so far.
She's averaging 23 points over her last 2 games.
The other thing that slowed down, Q Morrison was on the bench. She had 3 fouls.
Morrison does get the start here in the third quarter, but she's got to be careful. The good news for Georgia is Jenna Stady, who they also worry about foul trouble, doesn't have any fouls.
And the isolation, you see Georgia has her down low against Sierra Johnson. A little chippy.
Hey, it's the semifinals.
Finals are on the line.
Possession arrow pointing to Texas A&M.
Kayla Wells puts her nose in there, a tie-up, but nobody is saying give. You got to give the hair flip, too. Pop the pony.
Get out the way. Coming through.
Now, keep an eye on Sierra Johnson. She has camped out a lot at the top of the key. It's okay to open up the offense, but she has got to be willing to get inside, mix it up, and get on the glass.
Aaliyah Wilson takes the shot. Rebound by Jones. Kayla Wells. Another offensive rebound for Texas A&M. There's a foul on Jordan Isaacs. Big things on the line. Georgia trying to make it back to the SEC tournament championship game. It would be their first appearance since 2004. Texas A&M, they won the SEC tournament championship back in 2013.
Now, what can Q Morrison get done and stay out of foul trouble?
Morrison just pulls up. Rebound by Stady, back out to Caldwell. Maya Caldwell up to 9 points. She's over her season average of 8. Texas A&M can't get it to go through the hoop right now.
And Q Morrison wanted to get a little bit closer. She could have pulled the trigger. She's by herself. They haven't matched up with her.
Swings it over to Connolly. Creating some room. Misses the shot. Rebound. Stady. Open it.
It's that second shot that's been good for Georgia. The first shot, the miss, but then Georgia getting on the offensive glass.
8 second chance points, 8 offensive rebounds for Georgia. Jordan Nixon will pop the long ball too. Nixon's got a couple of those.
Nixon has really, as of late, she has turned her game up and looking more to be involved offensively. You can't go behind the screen on Jordan Nixon.
Maya Caldwell, she heard you call her name.
Hey, she was stuck on 7. She needed to get to double digits, and she did that with that three-pointer.
It's the Nixon and Caldwell show, just back and forth.
Well, Nixon has scored in double figures in the last 5 ball games. Her offense has definitely been an added benefit.
And Gary Blair talked to us about if Jordan Nixon isn't in the flow, he can sit her on the bench for a few minutes. She can regroup so well and come back in the game and make that adjustment. I think we've seen that because, remember, he put in Alexis Morris at the point.
Exactly. And that's the thing that Nixon does. She's a student of the game. She doesn't pout about her shot or not getting her offense. She just finds her spot.
Wilson going to the free throw line. Fouls on Caldwell.
Georgia, offensive rebound, creates that second shot. That's huge. And then Nixon, Conley going beneath the screen. That gives Jordan Nixon time. It's back and forth. It's a shootout. Both teams are trying to get to the finals.
Georgia is shooting 50% in the third quarter. First one drops in for Aaliyah Wilson. It was the second foul called on Maya Caldwell.
The versatility that Georgia has now. Gabby Conley running the one. Q Morrison on the wing.
Floater no into the hands of Sierra Johnson. Texas A&M is trailed by as many as 12 points in this game. They outscored Georgia 22-7 to take back the lead and head into the locker room at halftime.
When Texas A&M is running in transition, they don't have a rim runner down the middle to make the defense sink in. That's going to give the perimeter more time to get shots.
And Maya Caldwell just picked up her third foul for Georgia. So that's Caldwell and Q Morrison that both have 3 fouls for the Lady Bulldogs.
Great defense by Jordan Isaacs on India Jones down low.
Isaacs does all the little things. They may not show up on the stat sheet, but she is a key player. That's why she starts.
Joni Taylor just talks about how tough she is. She's the only non-senior starter for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Wilson elevates. Watch out for Wilson. She's up to 8 points. Texas A&M has scored 6 straight. Isaacs got stuffed. Hello, Sierra Johnson.
Well, when you give the ball to the post, and especially the short corner in the zone, it is to score. When you get it down there, passing out, it's going to be tough. But India Jones, she's tough in the paint as well.
Largest lead for Texas A&M. India Jones lead, but it's only by 5 points.
Well, and we saw Georgia started the game. They went up by 12. So it's tournament time. No lead is ever secure, especially with both of these two teams and the coaches making their counter moves.
Courtney Lyle, Carolyn Peck, and Steffi Sorensen with you for both semifinals today inside the well. Javin Nicholson finding the pass. Michaela Coombs is back out on the floor. She went down with an ankle injury in the first half. Good to see her back for UGA. Jones was looking for Johnson, stolen away by Stady. Morrison. Q Morrison puts it through the rack.
She's so good at that right there. Running in transition. She picks up the speed for Georgia.
Kayla Wells got caught underneath the basket. Georgia stepping up that defense down low.
But you watch Georgia, when you're going against a zone, you have got to make sure that you go to areas where the defense is not.
How about that?
You find the lane, slice it, dice it, add them up.
Michaela Coombs coming back out of the locker room, taped up, ready to go.
Did I not tell you we were hoping that she made a return like Rennia Davis did for Tennessee last night? Tape it up in the locker room, come back out, make a difference.
Kayla Wells up to 7 points. Caldwell off the screen for 2. Yes! She leads Georgia with 14 points.
Neither team is going to go down without a fight. You've got veterans on this team, both hungry to be in the finals. A&M zone, and they have India Jones playing on the top.
Here's Coombs again. An open Stady. Step back a little bit short. I thought Kayla Wells was going to run right into a Dean Jones, but she scored anyway.
Well, and Kayla Jones has been known throughout her career as a three-point shooter. Not this time. Putting it on the deck and taking it to the rim.
Yeah, Kayla Wells has been one of Texas A&M's best players as of late. Double-figure points. Last 9 games, you can make it 10. And Q Morrison is fouled. A couple shots coming. What a close one we have in Greenville, South Carolina. Winner to the championship game. One seed in the NCAA tournament.
It has taken the majority of the season for them to climb their way into securing a #1 spot, a #1 seed, but Gary Blair has gotten his team there.
South Carolina, who we will see later today in the second semifinal, also right now is a #1 seed, but they're going to have to win a couple more games here in the SEC tournament to keep that spot.
Yeah, Charlie Cream talked about other conferences could affect whether or not South Carolina can hang on to their #1 seed. The way they played yesterday, that first quarter, I think they've got on their mind to hang on to that #1 seed.
Aggies got to hurry. It's going to be Georgia ball. Texas A&M was running out of time, and now Georgia will have a fresh shot clock. 7-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Michaela Coombs back at the point for the Lady Bulldogs after tweaking her ankle. She's made an impact.
Well, Texas A&M looks almost like a man the way that they are matched up. No, it's still the zone.
Sarah Ashley Barker. Foul. Georgia's going to inbound underneath the basket. Shot clock goes off. Just 11 seconds remaining in the quarter. Georgia has led today by 12 points.
Well, Texas A&M still has a foul to give.
Javin Nicholson corrals it. Still a 1-point ball game in the well.
Georgia student athletes registered to vote. And not just that, they went to volunteer at voting polling stations to help make sure that everyone was able to actually vote. And I asked her about it, and I said, "Did you ever think 4 or 5 years ago you would be doing that?" She said, "No, but that's the culture and everything that Joni Taylor has set up for us."
Joni Taylor also was involved with, because of COVID, schools being shut down. Wow. They're scoring baskets, but with schools shut down, the rec centers that were open for children to go to, her team went out, they collected water bottles because the water fountains in these centers where kids were going were not able to be used.
Yeah, it's showing up off the court, and it's also they've taken it on the court too, to show up for your teammate, do the extra things, and Georgia's got to show up over these last 10 minutes to get that spot in the championship game tomorrow.
Well, the mantra for Georgia is it goes both on the court and off the court. You can't turn it on and off. And the accountability for these players has definitely showed up in the community and on the court.
You hear the cheers in the crowd right now. South Carolina has just walked in the building. We're not too far from Columbia. There's some Gamecock fans in the house. We'll see South Carolina battle Tennessee coming up at 6:30 tonight. They'll get the winner of this game. It's been tough for Texas A&M, even though they're the top seed, the SEC regular season champs. Georgia outscored them 25-13 in the second quarter.
Ooh, Stady with a monster block.
Up ahead to Coombs. You bet.
That ankle's feeling a lot better in this second half.
Shake it off. Just had to walk it off for a second.
That's all you need. Look, the Lady Dogs want to play tomorrow, but Texas A&M, they got a little bit to say about that. Texas A&M now changing up their defense. They have gone full on man-to-man.
No bucket. Foul happened before that.
But defense, the block by Stady, leading to offense. Georgia's off and running, headed the other direction. They're really good running in transition.
6 fast break points for each team as Sierra Johnson was called for her second foul. Just scooped up that rebound like it was nothing. Zay Green can't finish.
Look, this is going to go down to the wire. Rebounds about even. Georgia has the advantage right now, 31-26.
Georgia seeking its first finals appearance since 2004. And Javin Nicholson gets fouled. That's the third on Wells. Well, tomorrow afternoon, it's the regular season finale for number 18 Texas Tech and number 3 Baylor, and this one has big-time NCAA tournament implications. 4:30 Eastern on ESPN and the app. Baylor, of course, already clinched that Big 12 regular season title, first conference title for them since 1950, back in the Southwest Conference. Texas A&M, such a balanced team, so many weapons. Why has Georgia been able to run with them and lead this game for a lot of tonight?
Well, you look at Georgia's different weapons as well. You've got Coombs, who has come in even off a sore ankle. Caldwell is scoring, and then the dominance on the defensive end by Jenna Stady.
Georgia's defense, nothing to mess with. Joni Taylor has that defensive mindset. Check out their offense in the first meeting against Texas A&M. 48 points today, 55. We still have over 7 minutes to play. It's helped that Jenna Stady's been very productive. Sarah Ashley Barker will go to the free throw line. Second on Wilson.
It was points off turnovers in the first half for Texas A&M. Georgia's been able to be the beneficiary of scoring off of Texas A&M's turnovers in this fourth quarter.
Texas A&M, the SEC regular season champion, but the last time the regular season champion did not make the championship was South Carolina back in 2014. Tennessee was able to get the tournament title then.
I'll tell you how dominant or how competitive the parity in the SEC. Just because you win the regular season, when tournament time comes around, everybody's bringing their best effort, best game. It makes it fun to watch.
You got to put it all together in a very short span, about 3 days. And Dia Jones gets fouled by Javin Nicholson.
You know, when I worked for Pat Summitt, she used to always say at times she felt like winning the SEC tournament was harder than winning the national championship.
Well, there's no other time that you play you have to win 3 games in 3 days, not even in the NCAA tournament. You get a day off in between each round.
Absolutely.
I guess the only time you could get that experience would be in a non-conference preseason tournament, which we didn't have this year.
Exactly. A lot of teams would have gotten that experience, but really you still didn't play the WNIT. So the Battle of the Atlantis, those type tournaments just didn't happen because of COVID.
Maya Caldwell. Aggie ball.
See, now for Texas A&M to score, Gary Blair compliments so much what a great screener Sierra Johnson is. Use her in a screen and attack Jenna Stady.
And Dia Jones working on Nicholson, turns into the double team.
Yeah, see, you don't want to go straight at Jenna Stady. Completely left Sierra Johnson. Use Johnson in the post-up. I disagree. That's not a foul. Stady didn't even have her balance. She was falling down, and the foul called on Sierra Johnson.
That's the 3rd on Johnson, the 4th team foul for Texas A&M. So the next time they foul, Georgia will be shooting. Oh, the lane. The lane. Michaela Coombs.
Yeah, Michaela Coombs, obviously good today for Georgia. And talking to Joni Taylor, when she knew that they had some really good depth on this team was earlier in the non-conference against Georgia Tech, where Joni Taylor was able to play 9 players more than 18 minutes. And Michaela Coombs, a player who really came on in that game and helped close it out. So she knew she had more than just the seniors. She had depth this year.
Yeah, Steffi, she's told us that the depth has been the sauce for this team. Having those extra players you can count on.
You like the sauce and the spicy.
Oh, yeah. Well, this game is getting spicy. One of these teams is moving on to the championship game. Texas A&M in trouble right now.
And Texas A&M doesn't look like they understand they are the regular season champs. It is Georgia that looks more determined right now in this 4th quarter.
Offensive foul on Coombs.
Well, and the intimidator, number 14, Jenna Stady, with her reach, gets the block. She has been the eraser for Georgia.
Stady had 20 points yesterday, 13 today.
6 blocks.
Yeah, she's already got the double-double. Should we put it on triple-double watch? There's a lot of time left.
There's plenty to make that happen. A&M in a man-to-man defense.
Q gets loose. And when she's loose, she can hit. Look at her high five, Joni Taylor.
Joni Taylor can ask Q Morrison to do just about anything, and Morrison will make it happen.
Jordan Nixon, though, is a gamer. She loves the big moments. She's had a couple of buzzer beaters to take down Arkansas, not once, but twice this season. Texas A&M could rely on her down the stretch.
And I would look for that to happen. Gary Blair likes her decision-making, but right now the Dogs are red hot.
Maya Caldwell.
Georgia has weathered the storm. Their offense got a little stagnant against Texas A&M's zone, but they started to figure it out, finding seams, finding opportunities. So A&M goes man. Now Georgia is also finding those scoring opportunities.
Georgia's hit its last 3 shots.
When your offense is clicking, hey, run it through Q Morrison. Joni Taylor said, that's what I'm talking about. Little dab on the sideline. And then Caldwell, she said, give me that. I want some of that too. Give me a little dab.
Whatever has changed for Maya Caldwell over the last few games, just keep on going, because she has been electric, scoring the basketball at will.
She has spent a lot of time watching film and finding her opportunities. Not just sit there and go through the motion with coach, but absorbing the information of where would be the best way for her to be productive, and she has taken it to the court.
And she comes from a basketball background. Her mom, Patricia Walker, was an All-American at UNC Charlotte. She spent a lot of early mornings in high school getting in the gym and working on her game. Hey, it's paying off her senior season at Georgia. Offensive foul.
And
Q Morrison,
absolutely. It's Q. Watch her move her feet. Get down, get after it. That's the kind of defense I'd love to see playing right there.
Q's teammates told us when she is on the basketball court, she's having the time of her life.
And you see it. You see it. Joni Taylor told us Q Morrison is a feeler. And what she means by that is, however, whatever you've got going on, she takes that on herself. And she wants to bring the best out of everyone around her. And I'm going to tell you, after I talked to Q Morrison, I feel better about myself.
Yeah. What a teammate. She has an incredible relationship with Joni Taylor. They're extremely close.
Look at the hustle.
Feels like a semifinal.
You think?
Here for it.
All day long. Watch Sarah Ashley Barger come down inside. Doesn't give on the play. Diving out of bounds to save it. And then Coombs going after it with Zay Green. These teams are going to battle to the end.
Winner moves on to the SEC Tournament Championship to face either South Carolina or Tennessee. That game will tip off approximately 6:30 right here on ESPNU.
How great has the tournament been this year? Every game just about has been just a battle.
Entertainment all week long in Greenville. Blocked! Javin Nicholson. 18 blocks for Georgia.
And Georgia doesn't have to be in the rush. The clock is on their side. And Jenna Stady blocking shots, but Javin Nicholson there. She took a page out of Jenna Stady's book.
Q Morrison will be at the line. The foul was on India Jones, just her first. Jones was so critical for Texas A&M in that second quarter. She's got 14 points, but we're used to seeing her and Sierra Johnson dominate down low. Sierra Johnson has 2 points and has taken 1 shot in this game.
Well, she's not been on the glass there that much either for Texas A&M. She has spent a lot of time at the high post. Texas A&M is going to have to be more aggressive inside.
10-point lead for Georgia. They've led by as many as 12 today. A huge game for both teams. Georgia's trying to get back in the final of this tournament for the first time since 2004. Texas A&M, they've only been to that final once, and they won it back in 2013.
We talked about that coin that Gary Blair had. He might want to pull it out about now. Because right now, Georgia has been in control. They've been the aggressor both offensively and defensively.
Alexis Morris at the line. She has given Texas A&M some life in this game, using that speed, that quickness, and energy. Chipping away at the lead.
Well, and Texas A&M now has India Jones at the 5. Everybody up to press, but Coombs gets loose, going the other way.
Michaela Coombs up to 14 points. A new career high for her. Javin Nicholson, Aaliyah Wilson, almost everybody in the game on the floor fighting for that basketball.
But do you look and see how Joni Taylor has her team prepared for every situation, even the press that Texas A&M put on, the run out. Michaela Coombs recognized it. Nobody back, protected home net. She takes it in for the score.
Zay Green back in for Texas A&M. And Georgia has done this. Jenna Stady's getting a rest right now. They've got Javin Nicholson in the game.
Well, Javin Nicholson, remember that? Look, again, over the top with the press.
Offensive foul. Get you some, Maya Caldwell.
And Joni Taylor loves it. Caldwell sacrifices her body there, and you see a coach that loves defense. Appreciate that effort from Caldwell.
Georgia seeking its first top 5 win since 2013 when they defeated Stanford in the Sweet 16. Trying to get to the SEC championship game for the first time since 2004. Transition bucket for A&M. India Jones.
A&M's going to need more of that. They've got to force turnovers. They cannot allow Georgia just to use the clock, and somebody's got to get back and play the goalie.
Third foul on Zay Green. Sarah Ashley Barker to the free throw line. Georgia shooting 90% from the charity stripe on the afternoon.
The contribution of the bench for Georgia as well. Sarah Ashley Barber, and it might not be things that show up in the stats sheet, but the hustle plays. Then you've got Javin Nicholson. She was big. You've got Michaela Coombs that came in after rolling her ankle. Joni Taylor's got to be pleased with the effort so far from her team.
It all starts with the seniors, though, setting that tone, setting the expectations, and all the rest of the team has to do is just follow because they set a great example.
And talking about unfinished business and the goal setting, it was just one game at a time. It wasn't at the beginning of the season they wanted to get to the finals of the SEC tournament. They just want to win the game today. One at a time.
Destiny Pitts for Texas A&M, a 3-ball.
Hang in there. It's a 6-point game. It ain't over.
Texas A&M won its first SEC regular season championship just 6 days ago, in danger of not making the SEC tournament championship game.
Now Texas A&M, they need to get it, bring it, and they've got to score quickly. You would look at some ball screen action. And Joni Taylor subs so that the clock stops. That gives her team time to get their defense set and get Jenna Stady out. Get more of an athletic post to defend if they need to switch all screens.
Georgia under a minute away from the SEC final.
A&M, they're going to need to foul because right now the clock is running. They've got to try to get steals. They cannot allow Georgia just to continue to pass the ball around.
Morris looking for help. Finds Wilson. Yeah! Aaliyah Wilson, a big three. 35.4 seconds remaining.
Had to go to the bench, so then it was all about Tennessee.
We still got to finish a close game here in our first semifinal. Georgia basketball. Q Morrison is acting like something's not right. They're going to make a substitution. Javin Nicholson is running over to the scorer's table to check in, and Morrison is going to hobble off.
And Georgia's got to make sure, get the ball in, and then control it. Just hold it, because A&M has got to foul.
And they will. They'll foul Maya Caldwell. It's the third on Wilson. And so Caldwell will go to the free throw line. She's an 82% free throw shooter.
But now Texas A&M, they only have one timeout left. So if the made free throw, Gary Blair calling the timeout to advance it, he may be able to, especially on a miss, grab it and go score quick. Go the other way, save that timeout so you possibly can have another possession, then advance it to in front of your bench.
Caldwell gets them both. Q Morrison is back in. You saw them retape that ankle. Back in for this 27.1 seconds. She is one of their best defenders.
That might have been the quickest tape job I have seen in the history of the game.
Earning the paycheck today.
And now Georgia just doesn't need to foul.
Destiny Pitts misses the three.
Javin Nicholson called for the foul on the box out. See, the thing you want to do in this situation, give up the two. All right, don't give the three, and then don't foul, because right now Texas A&M can score with the clock stopped.
And both teams shooting on a foul. Texas A&M has one timeout left. Georgia has two timeouts remaining.
And Joni Taylor on a make. Got to believe that she is going to call a timeout and advance the ball. No.
Letting the clock run. And now Georgia will use that timeout. 14.5 seconds left.
But when they try
game appearance since 2004, it would be the first for Texas A&M since they won it in 2013. Stady fouled by Kayla Wells. That's number 4. So Jenna Stady will shoot. South Carolina waiting in the wings.
Well, the Texas A&M only one timeout left. If Stady happens to miss both of these on the rebound, grab it and go. And you know Gary Blair has prepared for just about every situation.
She misses both of them. Gary Blair will call timeout. That's their final timeout. Texas A&M projected as a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Charlie Creek.
Maya Caldwell turned things up.
Georgia has outscored Texas A&M 25-17 here in the fourth quarter. 10 seconds away from the championship game.
Keep an eye on Destiny Pitts, best three-point shooter for Texas A&M, and they need a three now.
Inbounded to Morris. She drives in, misses the shot, but is fouled by Sarah Ashley Barker.
Texas A&M with an opportunity to score with the clock stopped. Georgia still has one timeout. Make or miss. I'm sure Joni Taylor has told her team, if it's a miss, just rebound it, call timeout. We want to advance the ball and have it in front of our bench.
Morris misses the first.
You also have to box out. You don't want to give Texas A&M on a miss an opportunity for a putback.
Morris gets one of two. Georgia will call timeout. They will advance the basketball. They're 6 seconds away from doing something that only one team has been able. The leadership from the senior class, they average combined about 46 points per game. They've had 50 points today. And they're going to let Georgia hold it. Georgia's the top dog tonight. Joni Taylor and the Lady Bulldogs